talk about Thursday night's game, Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers.
Let's be honest, the San Francisco 49ers are severely depleted. They're missing. At one point during this game, they had 0 people on offense that started in the NFC Championship game last season against the Packers. That tells you everything you need to know. There is no George Kittle. There is no Jimmy Garoppolo. There is no weapons, really. And they still put up some points, you know. Their backup did pretty reasonable, I thought, considering that he was up against it. Packers, you know, we spoke about how they were going to right the ship after losing to the Buccaneers, and they go and lose to the Vikings. Dalvin Cook ran all over him, and that's the one thing, if San Francisco had any chance here, was to run on him. But they don't have any running weapons either. So, you know, Mostert, I think, is still injured.
What happened to Jeff Wilson Jr.?
Jeffrey? No idea.
No idea. I didn't even see him play in this game. And he went off last week.
I mean, if he did, then he certainly went missing this week. But yeah, no, this was Rodgers in a nutshell. You know, Rodgers had a field day. He was ready. He was throwing bombs everywhere, and he had a good day. And yeah, actually a very comfortable win for San Francisco. A lot of the big TV games actually of this week that were, you know, projected a few weeks ago to be big deals, like the Sunday night game and the Monday night game, actually ended up being, well, the game that should have been, frankly, the worst ended up being the most competitive by that margin. So, yeah, no, Green Bay Packers win, but obviously I can't really judge them too much on that because it's against a highly depleted San Francisco. For San Francisco, it's all about pride now. Play out the season, do as well as you can. Take it easy. Are they looking to replace Garoppolo is the big question. Do you think Jimmy Garoppolo should be replaced at San Francisco?
Yes.
By who is the big question? Because they're not going to be able to pick up anyone particularly special in the draft.
Go with me on this one.
Oh, God.
Who's San Francisco's head coach right now? Kyle Shanahan.
That's the one. Sorry. For some reason, I was going to say Mike, and then I realized, no, he was our head coach.
Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator for Matt Ryan when he won his MVP.
It's not a terrible idea.
I think they could go after Matt Ryan.
Speaking of Matt Ryan, get onto that in a second. Told you, didn't I? Fucking told you, but you didn't listen. None of you listened. You idiots who support this team along with me didn't listen, and I'm going to fucking tear you for it. Yeah, no, Matt Ryan sounds like a good shout. I can't think, to be honest, I'm looking at the quarterbacks that are going to be available come postseason. There's not a great deal out there. You've got to think Matt Ryan's probably going to be able to be lured. Atlanta are going to be looking to cash in while there's still a bit of credibility there because they're going to be looking for somebody who's going to be able to offset the future, someone who's going to step in for the next 10 to 15 years. Yeah, I actually quite like Matt Ryan as the quarterback of San Francisco. Like you say, Shanahan will know how to play with him, and also he's got the arm, which means that the receivers and the tight ends, especially someone like Kittle, for instance, is going to be very exciting because for me, Garoppolo is a good all-around quarterback, but he's not elite. Matt Ryan isn't elite either, but Matt Ryan has an elite arm, and he can get the ball to superior threats. We've seen that, what he can do with Julio Jones. Imagine what he can do when he's got all of those extra weapons there, because a lot of their running backs as well work as good receivers as well. I think it's very important nowadays that a running back can catch the ball as well. You've got to be able to get receptions as a good running back, unless you're, you know, Henry and you just bulldoze everything in sight. So, yeah, no, good choice. Good choice. I'm sitting here thinking, who else? Nobody really. Do you know what? Matthew Stafford might have been a good shout. I mean, how many weapons does he have at Detroit? He keeps getting Detroit, you know, he always gets them to around 500. You know, they always do very well. He's a good fourth quarter quarterback as well. And just think how good he'd be if he actually had premium weapons on him. Because right now, all he's got is Marvin Jones Jr. and a dodgy shoulder.
Yeah. Another one.
I want Stafford at the Broncos next season. So.
Yeah. Another one that I could see going.
We need someone who's clutch. We need a fighter. That's what the Broncos need. That's why I'm looking forward to talking about the Broncos, because I'm going to upset a lot of our fans.
I could see Kirk Cousins in a San Francisco jersey.
Nah. Kirk Cousins is like my man crush. I fap over Kirk Cousins at least once a week. It's mandatory. I go back. I get the lotion, right? I get the bath ready. Get the scented candles. Put on that fucking YouTube video of him going, you like that? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I fucking love that. Sorry. Anyway, Kirk Cousins, baby. He's just a man. He's a fucking, he's a man. I fucking love me a proper man. That's what we like. That's what American football's about. Manly men fucking each other. I'm sorry. Anyway, back to the football.
Well, yeah, back to the football.
Yeah, no, Kirk Cousins, I think, from the Vikings standpoint, they're probably thinking this was a mistake. But Dalvin Cook has certainly got cooking, so you never know. Who's next?